As I headed up to help lead worship, I told my husband Eric, I forgot that today is the day for Crescendo commitment, so pray about it and put the envelope in the offering. On the way home, Eric told me what God had told him we should give. I was shocked because it was way more than we could afford, a huge sacrifice. I was a little panicked, but I also trusted that Eric had heard from God. I decided to stand with him and trust God too, because this was way over our heads.
2 weeks later, we had a miscarriage. It was the hardest thing we had gone through, but we felt an incredible amount of peace and strength from God. I told Amy we are going to make the enemy pay for what he took from us. He wants us to be bitter at God, but we are going to fight back and be stronger than ever.
4 months later, we got pregnant again. During this pregnancy, I had many complications, but Dallas was born seemingly perfect. Hours later, he had trouble breathing due to seizures caused by strokes. We sat there watching our son on a ventilator, and it was really hard to not question why. You give and you'll be given more, right? Were we doing it wrong? Here we were, giving to the point of hurting. We had to check our hearts as to the real reason we were giving. We decided that no matter what, we would continue to give out of obedience.
We asked our family and friends to pray. We had an overwhelming response of prayer support that we couldn't believe. We saw progress in Dallas every single day. This is where giving to Crescendo really became a challenge. As the bills started to pile up, we really had to trust that God would get us through. There were weeks where we gave more to Crescendo than we had in the bank, but we knew that God would be faithful.
By 6 months, Dallas was completely off all seizure medication and hasn't had a seizure since. The last visit to his neurologist was so encouraging. They want to do more tests simply to see what they can learn from him. We wanted to shout, "It's called healing!" Crescendo wasn't a season of raises, bonuses, or increased finances for us. We still look at a pile of medical bills that might seem overwhelming to some, but our God is so big. Looking into our beautiful son's eyes, those worries fade away. Our Crescendo return came in the form of a fight that made our marriage stronger, drew us closer to God, and we had to trust Him more than we ever thought possible. Our story is about God's healing and His faithfulness through the fire. We are believing for our son's complete healing and financial freedom because of the seeds we've sown through Crescendo. Our story isn't over. How can you put a time limit on God's blessings? Because God is good all the time.